This video is sponsored by me. Because yeah, for those that may have not noticed, I would always have my Instagram linked in the description of majority of my videos. But honestly, I think I only promoted it like maybe once or twice, so sorry to shove it in the beginning of this video, but I figured, hey, why not? Because yeah, I do want to post more of my drawings. I want to post maybe some sneak peeks on up and coming videos, kind of like what I did with a certain shiny Pokemon that I will do a video on that sooner or later, I promise you. And maybe even some Q&As, because I don't think doing small bits and pieces of Q&As on my channel would necessarily do anything. It might just be a bit annoying. So who knows, maybe I'll post an Instagram story saying, do a Q&A and I'll respond to them. But yeah, those are just some ideas. So remember, check out my Instagram account that's in the link in the description below. Originally, I had a TikTok account as well that I would use to put in the link. But TikTok sucks. It's a horrible app, so no. But yeah, anyway, sorry to take up so much of your time. Enjoy the video. Let's pick up where we left off, shall we?
And there's just something very, uncanny about it. And that's kind of what happens with these new humanoid designs, or just, these weird Pokemon that feel just like they don't belong. Yeah, it's so uncanny. It's actually, putting it at fourth worst for me.
Well, that was idiotic. Off to hang myself. Off and left.
Yeah, that clip will never get old or run out of uses. But also, how is it uncanny? Armarouge, I keep switching between them, sorry, has less detail than Cerulege, which, as you said, Pokemon with so much detail or too much is a massive no-no for you. It's not Pokemon, as much as you contradict yourself when it comes to that. So shouldn't Armarouge and Cerulege swap? Shouldn't Armarouge, by your own logic, shouldn't Armarouge be number 9 and Cerulege number 4? You don't actually give a reason as to why it's bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, the reason that you gave for Lechonk and Palmy were fucking garbage, but at least they got reasons. Armarouge doesn't. I want to end this video right here and now, but nope, we're gonna power through, and we're gonna do this. God.
Grafai, you saw my live reaction to it. This thing's just ugly. And once again, the concept art's better, but the end game is what we have to deal with. The end game is the full 3D execution of what that Pokemon's supposed to be, and it is just awful. It's ugly. It's unsettling. It's grotesque even. When you watch it, paint around and then lick its finger. I'm oh, go away. No, please. Stop it. You're freaking me out.
So you don't like how it's behaving like a Pokemon and has a personality. How you don't like how it's being unique. Great job, Verlisify. You have truly shown that you are a master at what makes a Pokemon design work and not work.
Everything about this is wrong from the waist up. Okay, cool. We're going for some kind of lemur Pokemon. That actually looks like a cool, start for a lemur Pokemon. We're just going off, the tail and the lower body. Okay, Hoodie. I guess it's a graffiti Pokemon.
So I thought Verlisify was seeing things and making things up again. But, no, Grafai actually has a hoodie. And I didn't even notice this. And, yes, I've been pronouncing its name wrong the entire time. Don't judge me. But, yeah, Grafai has a hoodie. My bad.
Makes sense. And once again, this is where it seems like they sacrifice design just to really beat you over the head with theme. And that kind of goes back to why I didn't like Generation 5 story. Just because you're going, hey, I'm a story, it's a story, it's a story, hey, look, I'm a story, remember I'm a story, doesn't mean you have a good story. It actually shows you have a bad story since your storytelling is just incredibly flawed.
Well, that was idiotic. Off to hang myself. Off and left.
Let me get this straight. So, Generation 5 has a bad story because the games tell you that it has a story.
What the fuck?
Look, I understand that there are some video games that try and force the story, the narrative, and the characters in the player's face. A prime example of this is Abby from The Last of Us 2. Because, not even kidding, after Abby kills Joel, who not only is Joel a beloved character and a father figure to a lot of people, but they did his character incredibly dirty. Anyway, after Abby kills Joel, you're then forced to play like 2 or 3 hours of Abby with nothing but characters and scenarios basically saying, see, Abby's a good person. It doesn't matter if she's gonna kill Joel sooner. No, she's a good person. But we don't care. The way they treated Joel's character and the way that you're just thrown into this, like, playing as Abby for no fucking reason. There's so much wrong with that story, and the way that it tries to make you care about these characters when you don't, it's just unreal. Now, to get back on topic, first off, if that was Verlisify's point, if that was the argument that he tried to make, the guy butchered it brutally, because that was probably the worst way of explaining that argument as a whole. Secondly, are you fucking kidding me? Really? No shit, Sherlock. It's a fucking video game. What are you expecting? Well, but Grimmer, what about your Last of Us? I know what I said, trust me. So let me be more specific. This is a Pokemon game. The beginning, middle, and end are all the same with some minor differences to make them unique in their own way. Unova is no different. Black and White and Black and White 2 are no different. And look, I'm saying this as a Sinnoh fanboy. I'm saying this as a Gen 4 fanboy. Generation 5 easily has the best story. It has a great setup. It has an actual evil organization that actually has motive, goals, resolve. Like, Team Plasma has it. They have that. That's why so many people love that team. Why so many people love that story. Even the other rival, N, his character is just brilliant because he has actual points. He does make a good point about, Pokemon being used for selfish needs, or Pokemon shouldn't be trapped in some balls. They should be set free. They shouldn't, live along humans, because that's what tells him. And maybe even you as a player kind of think, N does kind of have a point, but you still follow through your gut. You still follow through with your heart. But that's the thing, later on at the end of the game, after you defeat N, he says, maybe you're right. He sees that. He feels it. So to sit there and say, oh, the game just shoves its story in your face saying, we have a story, is completely bullshit when we have, characters like, N gets it. These two are phenomenal characters that, look, I know I said this before, I'm saying this as a Gen 4 fanboy, Cyrus can only come so close to that. If we want to talk about facts here, Generation 5 easily has the best story ever. The only thing that can come close is Team Galactic, Cynthia, all of that. And maybe Team Aether? Aether? It's one of the two. But either one of them, but that's mainly because of Lucimi and what she brings to the table. And to wrap up this Generation 5 story rant, Verlisify is the same person that bitched and moaned over the fact on how, in his opinion, Legends Arceus didn't have any lore. So I find it really funny that with Generation 5 that does actually have lore, somehow that's a problem. This guy can't make his mind up. I swear, his opinions and arguments are so fucking fragile, man.
Same thing with this design, hey, I'm a graffiti artist, hey, look at me, I'm a little rascal, I got the spiky, rebellious hair, I've got the mask, and I got the hoodie. Oh, you know how, you use your finger, and then that's how you press the spray paint? Well, that's my hands. And, well, if we're basing it off an eye, the eye has long, weird middle fingers.
We get it, you don't like how it has a personality, alright? You don't need to keep saying it.
Doesn't mean you have to do all of that, and make it look about as ugly as possible. But they did. And just, again, that Generation 9 syndrome, just complete failings. It's where we have an alien. We have something that is just freaky, when it didn't have to be. You can make a good II design. Or why even have an II in Spain? For no reason.
To clarify, IIs don't live in Spain. They don't originate in Spain. They only live in and originated from Madagascar, which, as you can see, is an entire country apart from Spain. But here's my question. Does it really matter? Because at the end of the day, who cares? I mean, yes, it would have been cool to see Grafai actually appear in a Madagascar region, this isn't the first time that we've had Pokemon that appeared in one region that would have technically made more sense if it appeared in another. Like Tauros, for example. Tauros would have made a lot more sense if it appeared in Spain, or in this case, the Paldea region. Or what about Lillipop in that evolution line? Those are English dogs, actual English dogs, but they appeared in the fucking American region. Rather than, I don't know, Galar, which is Scotland and England. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. But to act like this is the first time that Pokemon has done this and toss it up to Gen 9 syndrome, which again doesn't fucking exist, is really stupid.
Oh, is it because of middle finger and spray paint? Is that it? Is that the entire thing behind the design? No, you could have like simplified it to something that isn't just weird looking like the eye in real life, and then just try to make a cool looking lemur design Pokemon.
Oh, grow the fuck up. Look, there's cute Pokemon, cool Pokemon, freaky Pokemon, weird Pokemon. None of those are new. You fucking muppet. And I'm sorry, but this is the same guy who complained about a fucking early route pig Pokemon, pure normal type, is nothing but a black blob. Now he's sitting here saying, oh, they should have made Grafaiai not an ii, but also simple it down. Where the fuck is your logic at, mate?
Or I even floated the idea of like, that'd actually be really cool if this was an opossum instead. Like just...
Nope, that's it. On to the next one. I'm fucking over this.
Number 2, Titan. I'm kind of surprised as well with like how much I hate Grafaiai, but that kind of goes back to when I was just looking at this, and I was stumped at how I was going to do this top 10 list. But the thing about Titan is that, once again, it's not a Pokemon. This actually looks like some kind of corrupted Neopet.
That doesn't even look like a Neopet. What the fuck are you talking about? Can I skip this one too? Please? It's just more... We just started this one and it's just more bullshit. Like, oh, this one doesn't even look like a Pokemon. You've been saying that for the entire fucking list, mate. Actually, you know what? I will skip this one because he just repeats himself with the same bullshit over and over again. Like, he doesn't actually say as to how this Pokemon is bad. It just say, oh, because it's weird for being weird, ugly for being ugly. We get it! God damn it! Okay, now we're gonna be talking about the honorable mention because Verlisify can't resist.
That brings us to the honorable mention, because this is also kind of like a test of who's actually watched the video. Because you know there's gonna be some idiot smartass that's like, well, actually, we have 17 Pokemon. Did you forget about the engine Pokemon that was shown in the last trailer?
Well, actually, you bloody dickhead! The engine Pokemon wasn't even revealed in the previous trailer. The only reason that we know about this Pokemon's existence before that piece of artwork was because of the leaks a while ago. So if those people were avoiding leaks and they saw that picture and you didn't include it, then no shit, they're going to bring it up. Come to think about it, the only people that would actually give a shit is Verlisify's fans. So the fact that Verlisify is reducing them to just some smart-ass idiots. Yeah, honestly, I can't even say I'm surprised.
No, I didn't. I was talking about the officially revealed ones. And yeah, this probably bumps off Smoliv and like reworks the thing around. Maybe it's like 5th worst. Maybe this actually is like 3rd worst. We need to actually see how this is going on. But yeah, it's an engine Pokemon. It has an eye, and it's got a saliva dripping tongue. It's awful. Once again, like, oh man, the hidden new Pokemon that hasn't been revealed yet is going to turn the generation around. Absolutely not.
Stop overreacting, for fuck's sake. It's an engine with an eye and tongue. So what? The fact that, oh, because of how the metal Pokemon has an eye, which many of them already have, and because of how it has a tongue, if we were to rework the list, it would probably be like 3rd, or maybe the 2nd, like... Stop overreacting, and like I said, we've had weird Pokemon in the past before. So a sentient engine that eats? Honestly, not that weird, all things considered. So start actually having arguments, or better yet, invest in the script. Because holy fuck do you need that.
This is just as bad as any of them, and probably on the worst end of bad, like the bottom 5 end of bad, when it just comes to ugly designs where Pokemon has lost the plot here. So, I don't know, we're gonna see what happens with that.
I mean, if we're going by your logic and saying that having a tongue out means that you're ugly, well then shit, I guess dogs are ugly then. Which is ironic coming from you. Look, I'm just gonna skip all this. Basically, he's complaining about Clove's mouth, he's complaining about Sir Titan's mouth and eyes, and even bitches even more so about Grafaiai, saying, oh, it was so perfect, it was so close to being perfect, but they made it weird, which... I already explained how that's not an argument, I already explained how stupid of a point that was, I don't need to go any further when it comes to that. Just one more Pokemon left, and it's Fido. How is Fido worse than Titan, Grafaiai, the engine Pokemon? I don't know. But we're gonna find out together.
But that means there's only one Pokemon left, and that's Fido. Again, an ugly abomination that is getting carried on name alone. Anyone that likes this Pokemon, I don't think has ever seen a dog in real life. Whoever designed this Pokemon hasn't seen a dog in real life. That is not what a dog's face looks like.
Look, aside from Verlisify sounding like a little kid having a tantrum, I don't know what to say to this. It looks like a dog. I mean, sure, it doesn't look like the dogs we have in real life, but it still looks like a dog. He even starts complaining about fucking Yamper and Bolton, which, while Yamper I can recognize as a corgi, yeah, it doesn't have like the long snout like a corgi has, but I mean, it still looks like a dog. And Bolton, apparently his only problem with it is how it has a rat tail, but it just has a regular dog tail. How the fuck are you gonna say, oh, have these people even seen a dog before? But you don't know that a dog's tail, sort of looks like that. But there's another thing, it depends on the dog as well. Dogs have different tails compared to other dogs. Like, what? Am I really explaining how dogs' tails are? What has my life become?
And I know they're capable of it because Rockruff is an A+. Rockruff is how you do it. That is an awesome, cute puppy Pokemon that then evolves into one of the strongest evolutionary lines. We have Lycanroc, where we have Epic Wolf, and then we have Epic Anthrowolf. Like, everything's really cool. Midnight Lycanroc is one of the best designed Pokemon ever, and that was only 2 generations ago, and was based off the dog Pokemon.
Remember how Verlisify said so many times throughout the entire video, oh, Generation 7 is my favorite generation when it comes to designs. Oh, Generation 7 is easily the best when it comes to Pokemon and stuff like that. He only mentions 2. Rockruff and Lycanroc. That's it. Those are the only Pokemon that he ever mentions in the entire video. Not Polo Sand, not any of the Ultra Beasts, not Decidueye, none. He doesn't mention a single one of them, but yet you're supposed to believe him when he says that it's his favorite generation when it comes to design, despite giving no actual fucking arguments when it comes to that whatsoever. Like I said before, Verlisify needs to put effort into a fucking script and make it so that he doesn't contradict himself 24/7, because fucking hell, I'm getting tired of doing this, and I'm sure many other people are getting tired of this as well.
Why not try to make cool Pokemon? That really seems like the problem. They aren't even trying to make cool designs anymore. It's just meme, zoomer trash. And then idiots are like, well, you're just growing out of Pokemon. That's what they said about Generation 5. It's like, oh, this is for the new generation, the new taste of the new kids. One, if their taste is trash, doesn't mean you have to appeal to it. Especially when you have like an established 22 million player base just off the...
I can't even say I'm surprised that Verlisify is just going off topic again. We're meant to be talking about Fido, now he's just having a massive fucking rant about Generation 5 Pokemon all over again. When it comes to growing out of Pokemon, Generation 5, those two things, Generation 5 was meant to be sort of a reboot. It was meant to sort of introduce a new audience, try to appeal to a new audience. That's why all the old Pokemon, while still in the game, you can't get them until post-game. And dude, how old are you? Fucking 9 years old. The fact that you're really bitching and complaining about, oh, why are there so many weird Pokemon? Where's all the cool Pokemon at? It's like, come on, really? That was your entire reasoning? That was your entire point of this fucking list? Was because of how we didn't have any cool Pokemon yet? Really? That's your fucking logic? Like, I'm sorry, didn't you put Cerulege and Armoroge on your fucking list? Despite how cool those Pokemon are? Oh, but they don't look like Pokemon. Most cool Pokemon don't look like Pokemon. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely a good amount of Pokemon that look like Pokemon, if we want to go by Verlisify's definition, whatever the fuck it is, that are cool. But again, there's also Pokemon that are so out there, that are like, wow, that Pokemon looks sick. And guess what? Generation 5 is one of them. It has a lot of cool Pokemon. Don't get me wrong, there are some Pokemon that are just like either okay or Watchdog. But aside from that, there are definitely some really strong contenders. So to later on say, oh, Generation 5 was the death of Pokemon. No, it fucking wasn't. Generation 5 was liked even back then. Did it get overhated? Yeah, absolutely. But wasn't that because of you? Didn't the mass hate of Generation 5 come from you? So, if anything, The death of Pokemon wasn't because of Generation 5. Verlisify, it was because of you. Because of how bitter you were and how you just didn't like Generation 5 for some reason. And don't say, well, because it was a story. No, it fucking wasn't. Verlisify, you don't actually have a reason as to why you hate Generation 5. And even if you did, it'd be the pettiest and dumbest shit known to man. But yeah, to end the video off, Verlisify just complains more about Fido, saying it doesn't look like Pokemon, it's ill. Verlisify, you can't fucking talk. Seriously.
And that's it. It's finally over. Like I said in the first part, I didn't think I'd have to make 2 parts. And I felt kind of shitty because I dragged a 19-minute video out to like an hour of just breakdowns and losing my sanity. But I'm glad that a lot of people had a positive reaction to that, and I just want to say thank you. If you've seen both parts, which if you haven't already, what the hell is wrong with you? Nah. You could probably guess my overall thoughts about Verlisify's video. But to any of those that are curious, after finishing both videos, what do I think?
Well, I'm really glad I didn't do that drinking challenge where anytime Verlisify said something stupid, mentioned Gen 5, contradicted himself, acted hypocritical. I'm glad. I'm really glad I didn't do that. Because I would have had to take in so many shots to the point where I genuinely would have had to go into the hospital. It was that bad. There's been so many times where I had to put down my phone and just get some fresh air because I would always get a constant migraine from Verlisify's hypocrisy. Like with the Grimer crap, how he's praising a literal blob of sludge, but apparently Palmy is like the worst Pikachu clone, despite how Pikachu clones don't necessarily have that much detail anyway. It was so bad, I was losing my mind. Now, I do want to address this comment and people who will try and destroy my entire argument in both videos by just using 3 words. It's his opinion. And to make it clear, do not attack those commenters, do not belittle them, do not berate them, do not insult them, anything like that. Just please leave them alone. Because look, on one hand, they do have a point, and I'm not even saying that they're wrong. But here's where I stand with this. Obviously, everyone is going to have a different opinion, and everyone has that right to that opinion. But like most things, a line has to be drawn, and in this case, it's where someone tries to make their opinion as an objective fact. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail when it comes to all that, because I've already explained it before many times, but let's take me for example, right? I don't like onions. I think texturally they're disgusting, taste they're disgusting, they don't really add anything, and yeah, to me they are one of the worst foods on the planet. That's my opinion. And that's just how I feel because, taste buds and shit like that. And obviously, everyone else is going to have a different opinion. Like, I see people who cannot live without, like, onions on their burger. Now, if I was to talk as if it was an objective fact that onions are disgusting, how can people like them, they're so shit, and just, really trying to enforce that quote-unquote opinion onto someone else and other people by saying, I don't understand how the fuck can people like onions. Onions are so bad. If you like onions, then wow, you are such an idiot. And you get my point. And obviously there's going to be people that say, oh, Verlisify doesn't do that. You're over-exaggerating. I was only maybe partially over-exaggerating. Because 90% of the time, that's Verlisify's entire argument. That's Verlisify's entire video. Putting someone else down, maybe make some false claims about them, and then make out as if his opinion is a fact, that this is an objective truth. So the fact that he has that mindset and trying to use that logic in a Generation 9 top 10 video when we only have 16, 17 Pokemon, to all 465k impressionable subscribers. And it does not help that Verlisify is a manipulator who spits out half-truths, so you gotta take that into consideration as well. And that's not only my problem, but that's kind of everyone's problem with Verlisify. The fact that he does this shit, lying, manipulating, act childish, but he's halfway to 1 million. And he's acting like this. Can you imagine if Verlisify was at 1 million subscribers and he had a bigger audience? Holy crap, he would get cancelled so fucking fast. But honestly, for some weird reason, there's no real consequences because he's technically a nobody. Verlisify is nothing but a horrible person who bullies everyone, harasses everyone, manipulates everyone, gaslights everyone, and etc. Is extremely hypocritical and will contradict his own statement in the exact same video in within 5 minutes. No friends on YouTube, no friends outside of YouTube. Oh, and trust me, I know about his little bullshit statement right here.
Pokemon community not being stupid for 5 minutes, parentheses, impossible challenge. So the Pokemon community has had a complete melty over the last couple of hours, and I'm just now hearing about it because I have a life, but it's still interesting.
That genuinely might be the biggest lie Verlisify has ever said, because what life does he have? What life outside of YouTube does he have? Hating children? Plus, Verlisify, considering on how much you post on Twitter, as well as, how much you post on YouTube, most of the time, nearly consistently posting 3 or 4 videos in a single day, 2 hours apart from each other. Anyway, to wrap this up, if you think I'm ever being too harsh on Verlisify, oh, trust me, I'm not. If you want me to be really nitpicky about his video, well then sure, we might be here for 2 hours instead of 1. In fact, I think the only time I was nitpicking the entire 2 videos was when Verlisify was doing an impression saying, oh, well actually the engine Pokemon was shown in the last trailer. That was the only thing I was nitpicky on. Everything else? No, I've been pretty fair in saying it how it is. So, from Verlisify being hypocritical when it comes to Pokemon designs and just complaining about weird for the sake of being weird, this video of his was an absolute fucking mess. Hopefully this is the last Verlisify video I do for a long time now. And if you haven't already, please be sure to like this video, comment your thoughts, and hit the subscribe button because it genuinely does help a lot. Who knows, maybe one day we can surpass Verlisify in subscribers. Bro, that'd be a fucking dream and a half, I swear. We need to make that happen, please. But no, I appreciate all of you guys, and also, before I quickly forget, make sure to put the notification bell on all because YouTube doesn't like when I post anything else but Verlisify drama related videos. I don't know why, but yeah. And make sure to check out my Instagram if you haven't already. Enough for the self-promotion, however, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, evening, and or night. And I will see you guys next time. Laters. Or maybe not, I guess, because what just happened? So as I was uploading part 2, uploading it and setting it as Premiere, I noticed this about the part 1 video. Yep, it actually got copyright claimed. So I tried to see, who the hell claimed it, and it didn't show. It didn't tell me who claimed it, nothing like that. So unfortunately, it's really guesswork. Before we address how I actually got copyright claimed, because I think we all know how, let's talk about the 4 other possible contenders. The first possible reason could be my intro. But off the bat, there is no way that my intro was the reason that I got copyright claimed. Not only does the song fade in and fade out, but as you can see from the red line here, I actually cut a bit of a song and made it so that it can get to the sort of fade out portion quicker. I'm horrible at explaining music, so the best suggestion I can give, go listen to the original song, compare it to my intro, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Not to mention, I don't think the original song had Deadpool saying, "Why won't you wake up? Wake up." So yeah, safe to say that it can't be my intro. Okay, so what about these 3, which are the only ones that I used in part 1 and in part 2? Both the Team Fortress 2 animation as well as the JonTron clip are 4 to 5 seconds in length and have been used millions of times. I am not the first person to use them. I'm not the last. It's all under fair use, and again, they're just clips. They're not the entire videos themselves. And since other people who have used them similar to me, or just straight up repost them like that, haven't gotten a copyright strike, it's safe to say that I didn't get it from them. Exact same thing with the Devil May Cry 4 clip, because rather than being a YouTube original thing, like the JonTron and Team Fortress 2 clip, it's from a video game cutscene. That clip only lasts like 2 seconds. And again, people would use and post that clip and even use the extended version of that original clip. So it can't be that one either. It can't be any of those three. Okay, I'll admit defeat. So I thought it was Verlisify. I thought this clip,
and hopefully Verlisify doesn't falsely copy strike me,
came true. But nope. It was because of how I ended part 1 with this. I thought with me talking before the drop as well as making it fade out, I would be fine, but yeah, apparently it wasn't enough. After realizing that it was actually the music and not Verlisify, I thought about cutting this segment bit out, but I mean, might as well leave it in. It saves me from doing a video in the future, so there's that, you know? You know what, because it's the right thing to do, I will apologize. I'm sorry, Verlisify, that I was immediately accusing you of copyright claiming my video. Granted, you do kind of have a history for that, but you know what? Once again, I do apologize. Alright, now for real this time. This is the end of the video. Man, that was a roller coaster of emotions. Wow.